Welcome to the first episode of a series that I'm going to be calling the I2P Talk. And the I2P Talk is pretty much, if you talk about business, it's like B2B or D2C, right? D2C is like direct to consumer, B2B is business to business, B2C is business to consumer. And so I'm calling this the I2P, which is influencer to podcast talk. And so today I wanted to talk about anything and everything related to influencer marketing in general. And so today I wanted to make this about gifting campaigns. And so if you're a founder, if you're an e-com store owner, if you're a influencer marketing manager or brand partnerships manager, or if you work in the influencer industry in any sense, this video might be for you. My name is Jay. I run an influencer marketing agency called True Comma, and I have been able to work with multiple brands dealing with gifting campaigns, and I wanted to talk about why some of them fail. Okay, and so I first want to talk about maybe one of the case studies that I have been working with. Is I've been working with a skincare brand, and a lot of the times when skincare brands come to me, they usually come with me with a budget. And with the budget, usually what happens is I am able to source creators within that budget and make sure that the budget is tight, and making sure that we're all aligned in terms of the KPIs and the money that we're going to be spending. And so when it comes to that, I'm able to execute very well. But sometimes a lot of these skincare brands come to me, or beauty brands come to me, and they say, hey, I want to do a gifting campaign. And a lot of the times I do say, hey, by the way, gifting campaigns, it's really hard to track, the ROIs. It's really hard to track anything in general because gifting doesn't really guarantee results. And here's why. When you're looking for creators that like to do gifting campaigns, a lot of the micro creators and small creators love those opportunities. The reason why is because they're small, but yet they're receiving something for free. And so they're able to do it without hurting them in any case, right? But here's the downfall to that. It's when you do a gifting campaign for somebody, what happens is you start to get a lower quality creators. And with the lower quality creators, it doesn't create as much views. It doesn't create as much attention. It doesn't create as much noise. And so when you're a brand trying to work with influencers and trying to market yourself, it comes down to that. It comes down to the type of creators that you're going to be working with. It comes down to the type of creators that you will be working with, right? Because let's be real, a lot of the creators in today's day and age love to get paid. And if they're not getting paid for the type of work and the editing and the filming that they're doing, they're most likely not going to be doing it in the first place, right? And so a lot of the gifting campaigns are, structured like this. Hey, creator one, we're running this barter gifting campaign for this Korean skincare brand, and we would love for you to try it. And if you really enjoy it, then post something about it. But here's the truth about that. A lot of the times when creators are given these gifting campaigns in general, they get this like cringe, weird face, because a lot of the times they're like, hey, what am I supposed to do here? Am I supposed to just take the video and talk about it and review it perfectly, or am I supposed to say only good things about it? And a lot of the times you're gonna get rejected, okay? And so if you're a brand or influencer marketing manager at some company, you will understand this pain, okay? And the pain of running gifting campaigns, you're like, okay, what exactly do I do in the first place, right? And so my recommendation is you can for sure run gifting campaigns in a successful way. The way you can do that though is by having these, I like to call them seeds, but it's having hundreds and hundreds of seeds, right? And if you're willing to spend, the money, the company money, I guess, to seed out these products over to the creators, and you have hundreds and hundreds of creators, then you're bound to have some of those creators kind of post about it, right? Because they love the product so much. And so what you want to lead on to with is, once they receive the product, tell them, hey, no obligation to post, but make sure that if you really love it and you would love to write a review about it, we would love for you to do it, because we would love to consider you for paid campaigns in the future. You know what this creates? This creates a relationship. And in this business, relationship is everything, right? If you're not building relationships with your creators, if you're not building relationship with your clients, agencies, brand representatives, then you are doomed. It's not going to work, because a lot of the times this whole relationship-based business is what it's about, right? And I'm sure if you're a founder or an e-com store owner, you're gonna understand this. You're gonna start to understand, oh my goodness, I have so many clients that I need to keep track of. And how do I keep track and build that relationship with each creator, with each, whatever that might look like? The biggest thing is you need to build a system, right? You need to build a system for a gifting campaign or a budgeted campaign. But the biggest thing that you want to understand is I have to make this work by making them feel like I'm involved in the process, right? If you're a founder and if you're starting out a founder and you're trying to sell, a makeup product, you might think to yourself, okay, how do I market this and how do I get this out into more people's eyes, and how am I supposed to do that efficiently? And a lot of the times they want to cut costs, so they're like, hey, it's gonna be a gifting campaign, let's see who can respond to me. And if I were to tell you like some of the percentages, I would imagine if you emailed like 100 creators, I would say maybe like 2 to 5 would say, yeah, sure, I would do this for, in return for a view or video or a review or story or something like that. But in reality, it's really hard to convert those and even get a return on investment, because you're paying for the shipment, you're paying for the product, and you're sending it over to the creators for them to hopefully send you a video, right? And you're like, okay, what if they don't make a video about it? And what if they don't convert any audiences to it? Well, that's the problem with gifting, right? And so usually what you want to do is you want to either have your own, ad converting videos and run them as ads, or the best part is you can have the creators make the videos for you. You pay them whatever amount that they might cost, and then you turn that video into an ad funnel, right? Because if you have a product and you want to sell that product and you want to market it, you're like, okay, how do I do this, right? You can have the creator literally make the video for you and use that as an ad funnel and ad machine, right? You can either boost it, or you can put it onto your own meta ads, right? Or you can hire an ad agency for it. So it really does depend on how you want to go about this, right? So that's why I recommend, if you're a starting out company, or if you're a influencer marketing manager at a big company, or you're working with creators in general, I would recommend, hey, pay them for what they're worth, right? And I'm not saying to overpay them, but pay them for what they're worth, because a lot of the times that audience that you're paying for is going to be worth it, right? And my strategy when I work with a lot of the brands, right, because I'm an influencer marketing agency owner and I work with a bunch of brands, is the number one strategy is this. Usually I have brands come to me and they give me a set budget. So let's say it's like a $10,000 campaign, right? Think of the $10,000 as like your marketing spend, right? How much you're willing to spend per month on marketing. And in this case, the marketing would be on influencers, and you see like how this would work. The biggest thing is this. I try to create a system of creators where it first matches their niche, it first matches how much audience that they're looking for, and it's not just a single video. I actually go for multiple videos per creator, because that actually builds trust. If you're able to see multiple videos of a creator constantly push out a product, then you're like, oh wait, this creator is using this product multiple times. I want to know the reason why, right? Because this creates a sense of trust. And in this whole industry, trust is everything. There's nothing else you can't do in this without trust, right? The whole funnel is brands have great product, which builds trust. Creators use the product, they love it, which builds trust. Creator shows it to the audience, which builds trust. And with trust, and then they're able to go to the company website and be like, okay, I'm gonna try buying this. I'm gonna try it for myself and see if this is something worth paying for. So this is what I want to talk about today, right? And it's really important to talk about the relationship side of it. Obviously, it's important to talk about the money side of it. But I want to shift your mindset on the influencer spend, right? And some of you might think, okay, some of these influencers cost a lot of money. And I agree. And some of these creators, are not well alarmed, and it's still the Wild West where they don't really know exactly what to charge themselves. But I want you to know that there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of creators out there, right? If you don't know exactly what type of creators you should be working for, maybe you should contact an influencer marketing agency, right? And so this is where everything falls into place. There are so many ways that you can spend on influencers in a more efficient way, in a more effective way, and in a way where you can track the KPIs and make sure that the money that you're spending is the money that you're getting back. And this is not a traditional ad marketing budget, right? Because the influencer world is still fairly new, even though it's been going on for, a couple of years now. It's still new. There are hundreds of creators wanting to work with brands, and hundreds of creators that are like, hey, I do want to do this, but I don't know how, right? And so this is your time to take advantage of that. And so the number one thing I wanted to talk about again is like the gifting campaigns and sometimes why it doesn't work, but also the marketing budget spend versus influencer spend. They shouldn't really be different because the marketing spend is the influencer spend, right? And it's hard to keep track of all the KPIs for it, but you want to make yourself known that the product that you're selling or whatever that might look like is useful and going to be helpful for the audiences, for the mass majority. So today, that was that first episode. Today was the first episode of the I2P talk. Thank you so much for watching. This is going to be it. I'll talk more about other things in the future. If you're willing to work with me in the future about anything, whether you're a founder, whether you're an e-com store owner, whether you're an influencer marketing manager at a company, please do contact me. I do want to talk to you and see how I can help you build and scale your company.